Wednesday, live from Birmingham, Magic City. Hottest show on the streets, number one forum for Bama football news. I'll be yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. This is, in my own words, happy to have everybody tuning in, checking us out on today. We're streaming the show on YouTube. Speaking of the channel, if you haven't done so, drop that thumbs up, give a like on the show, hit that subscribe button, turn all of those notifications on, hit that bell so you can get all the content on your favorite program, that being Tide Football. We also got you covered on Facebook and Twitter as well, all forms of social media, streaming to you the show. No excuse whatsoever for you not to be locked in to the number one forum of Bama football. We got a lot to get into and unpack because the players report for fall camp tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, Thursday. First day of practice will be Friday. It's here. We've been waiting on it. We've been ready for it. Let's get it popping. We have made it to some Tide football, some Tide action. Gotta shout out my man John Ivor in the building, doing his things on the ones and twos in the production studio. And we want to hear from you guys tonight, the Bama fans. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. That's the number right there to let your voice be heard on the show. 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. The daily Super Chat goal, $75. Daily Super Chat goal. Appreciating all of you guys. We got a great guest coming on today, as we'll be joined later on in the show by my man Alex Barth, who covers the New England Patriots for 98.5, the Sports Hub out of Boston, Massachusetts. He is a beat writer for the Patriots, a sports radio personality. He's coming on to give us some updates, some insight into Mac Jones, Damian Harris, Christian Barmore, and Donta Hightower, all of these former Alabama players doing work in training camp for the Patriots. But we jump into right now. First topic of conversation, and that being, I kind of want to do this right here. So with fall camp, first day is going to be Friday. We're excited. We're anticipating a lot of big things, a lot of great position battles, a lot of, pads popping, fun being had, guys trying to play winning football. I thought we're going to do this for the offense and the defense. We'll do this for offense today, defense Friday. So I've picked out four categories, and we'll link one player per each category as the guys that, I'm excited to see and U.S. fans excited to see. So offensively, the four categories will have MVP, most valuable player, breakout player, rising star, and player with the most to prove. So those will be the four categories. As you're seeing this here as it comes on screen, the MVP in terms of Stephen's big four for fall camp, the MVP for Bama, I got Evan Neal at left tackle. The breakout player, self-explanatory, that would be Bryce Young. The rising star, I've got Jaleel Billingsley at tight end. And the player with the most to prove, I got Slade Bolden at wide receiver. So starting this thing off here with Evan Neal being the MVP, I've chose Neal because a lot will be on the shoulders of the junior from Florida at 6'7", 360 pounds at left tackle. This is somebody of whom he's got to have this offensive line gel together. He's got to be the leader. He's got to provide the nastiness. We all know he's got the freakish athleticism. He's going to have to continue what he did in 2020 in protecting Mac Jones, as Jones was the second least sacked quarterback in all of college football. He's got to do this fall with protecting the blind side of Bryce Young and helping the sophomore, former five-star from California, have huge success. Not only just that, Evan Neal has to anchor the run game. We all know at Alabama under Nick Saban, the left side is the strong side. We've seen it with Andre Smith in the past, with Barrett Jones in the past, with Cam Robinson in the past, with Jonah Williams in the past. So many great players in recent years. Alex Leatherwood, throw him in there also. If Bama wants to run the ball, they run it off the left side. They run it off the strong side. So once again, here is Evan Neal off that strong side. Got to set that tone and then, trying to help this offensive line repeat as Joe Moore Award winners. Most importantly, Evan Neal can potentially be a top 5 draft pick in the 2022 venue. So Evan Neal, my MVP, starting off fall camp throughout this upcoming season, because a lot will be on his shoulders. When you look at the breakout player, it's got to be Bryce Young, right? I mean, Bryce Young entering this season trying to become the 5th first-year starter of the Nick Saban era at Alabama at quarterback to lead his team to the national championship. And we saw in the spring game the tools that he has, the skill set that he's got. You know, over 300 yards passing, 1 touchdown, won the Dixie Howell Most Valuable Player at the spring game. And of course, in high school, the powerhouse Mater Dei in California, we saw the arm talent, we saw the athleticism, we saw the escapability, we saw all the things that made him special, all the things that make him a 5-star athlete. And U.S. fans, you guys are so excited because you want to see, is the magic real? Is the playmaking ability real? And real in the sense of, can he do it against opposition? Can he do it in stadiums where it's going to be at full capacity, everybody yelling, screaming, like House of Pain, jumping around? Can Bryce Young do that in the environments he's going to face in college football this season? Now, the big reason why you got to be excited for Bryce Young is, if you look at this, according to the preseason All-SEC team that happened at Media Days, when you look at, Matt Corral of Ole Miss, first-team All-SEC quarterback, J.T. Daniels of Georgia, second team, Bo Nix of Auburn, third team. Bryce Young was nowhere on that list. And then from the national perspective, everybody has their eyes on Spencer Rattler of Oklahoma. So this is a chance for Bryce Young to kind of crash the party, if you will, and show, hey, I'm the guy that you need to look at. I'm the next hot thing. I'm the next big piece. I'm the guy that needs to be in the conversation, and kind of set himself up for those preseason accolades when you talk the 2022 campaign. So Bryce Young, big-time breakout player. Everybody waiting to see what number 9's got. When you look at now the rising star, give me Jaleel Billingsley at tight end. And Steve Sarkisian, he opened him up a little bit last season. 18 catches, 287 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sark opened Billingsley up, but Bill O'Brien is about to make this man a full-fledged rock star offensively. We know O'Brien, he does a lot of the double tight end sets, the 2 tight end looks. Did it at New England with Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. Did it with the Houston Texans. So he's bringing that same flavor to the University of Alabama, where the Crimson Tide's offense is concerned. A lot of people look at Jaleel as somebody who can be in that same mold as Kyle Pitts, former Florida tight end, who's now in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I think Jaleel Billingsley potentially can possibly be even better than Kyle Pitts. He's a little bit bigger than Pitts, a little bit thicker than Pitts. You could have him on the inner line, or you can stretch him out wide as a wide receiver and create a ton of those matchup issues, a ton of those matchup problems for opposing defenses. So Sarkisian opened Billingsley up. O'Brien's going to turn him into a superstar. I think Jaleel Billingsley is the rising star. So that kind of leads me to the guy with the most to prove to me. That's Slade Bolden. Brian Robinson a close second, but Slade Bolden. And the reason why Slade kind of fits this depiction here, U.S. fans are thinking, we know Slade is good, but is he good enough? We know he's talented. We know he has a skill set. We know he has the capability to be something, profitable or something productive for Alabama at that slot receiver position. When you go back to what he did in high school, we're looking at the Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Louisiana in 2017. We saw, the last couple of seasons where he's been that strong gadget guy. He can return kicks, return punts, play receiver, do a little wildcat quarterback, but now his sole focus is at that receiver spot. And O'Brien is going to look to use him in that Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, toughness, slot type of role. And he's worked his tail off this offseason, working on speed, working on quickness, working on getting faster, wanting to prove he can take it to the house. But like I mentioned, bold and talented, bold and good, but is he good enough? And this is something that he's going to have to show in fall camp, because Bama recruited some burners in that slot position. You look at Christian Leary, the young man, a burner. You look at JoJo Earl, the young man, a burner. You even look at a Jamison Williams, of whom Bama brings in a transfer from Ohio State, 6'2", $189. He's got speed. He is a burner. So this is a big fall camp here for Slade. He's going to get playing time, absolutely, but he's got to prove, I've got the speed. I got everything that you need at that slot receiver position to be massively productive here in the fall for the Crimson Tide. So that's just, my big four in terms of offensive players, fall camp through the upcoming season. Evan Neal, my MVP. A lot's going to fall on Big Neal. Bryce Young, the breakout player. Time to see the magic that Big Nine has. Rising star Jaleel Billingsley. Sarkisian popped the top open, but Bill O'Brien's ready to pull that juice out. So Jaleel Billingsley, rising star, and of course, my man Slade Bolden, guy that has the most to prove he's good, but can he show that he's good enough here offensively? It'll be fun to watch fall camp taking place here on Friday. But we take our first break on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting cranked up. Upon our return, we go to the phone lines. We take your phone calls, your thoughts, your viewpoints, your chats, your discussions, your opinions right after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up. Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care, in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99, and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
And we are back in here, folks. Back in from the break of the number one form for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Wednesday. Got a few super chats to get to before we take the calls. So first and foremost, as John's got the horn ready, we got Jimmy Badman Cashman Clay starting us off. That $50 donation in the Super Chats. Appreciate Jimmy Clay. Been right behind him, Mechanic. As always, Mechanic. That $25 donation coming from his end. And then Jimmy Clay had to come back one more time with $25 more in the Super Chats, which means $100 in total between Jimmy Clay and Mechanic. The daily Super Chat goal of $75 has been met by both of those, to appreciate the love from Jimmy Cash Clay and Mechanic, and everybody who writes in, donates in, calls in, making this your show and talking the Crimson Tide. But we go to the phone lines to take your calls. Calls have been brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358, the number right there, 205-448-1358. We grab a call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Stephen, I'll tell you what, this Blue Ridge game, boy, I tell you what, we got the money flying around here. I just want to be able to borrow about 10 while I can slide up here to Jack's. That's why I'll buy me probably one of them big double Jacks there, maybe in a vanilla milkshake. What do you think about that, Stephen?
You know what, Wagon? That's a good idea. I could use a vanilla milkshake myself, man. That's a great idea.
I hear you. We want to say happy birthday today to Bob Baumheimer, two-time All-American, All-SEC, three-time SEC champ, Dolphins 77 to 86, five-time Pro Bowl All-Pro. He was a great one, Bob Baumheimer, defensive lineman. We only remember Tom York, passed away at 96. There's just a few of us on here can remember Tom York. Don't tell anybody, but that's back when I only had 4 channels, and I had to twist the damn antenna at the window to get it to come in. But anyway, what's going on down there is I'm getting a bad word here, Stephen. It's not making me feel too good. Is Clemson and Florida State coming to the SEC? Please tell me no, please.
I don't think so. I don't see it. I don't think so. I don't see it. Both teams have said that no one's reached out to the SEC. They haven't reached out. The SEC hasn't reached out. I don't see it happening. No.
Well, I hope not. We got all we need now. I figure we'll get 2 more. Everybody in the Blue Ridge gang, you're looking good. I got to get out of here. All y'all be safe. Hey, everybody in the cities, towns, countries, and states, TDA appreciates every one of you. I dug up this one from a long time back here. I got to get out of here on this right here. I'm leaving now. Once again, it's TDA. We have the best podcaster in the business today. It's the big dog, Stephen M. Smith, the icon, the legend. Some say he's a myth. He never gives up. He never quits. He loves his fans in TDA land. So light up the chat, hit the like button, and drop the love in the TDA hat. Bye-bye, everybody. I'll see y'all on Friday. Be safe. Bye-bye, Stephen.
Appreciate the love that comes from Waylon starting us off here on the show. We take our next call on a Wednesday. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Roll Tide, Stephen.
New Jack is in the building. What's happening, man?
You know, I really want to encourage Waylon to rap his rhymes, but I digress. Really what I'm calling about is a plug. And you know I'm calling a plug CTS Interview Room. Sometimes when I'm watching your show, I think, how can there be 100,000 fans in the stadium on Saturdays during the fall, and there's only 96 people watching this wonderful show? How can it just be that only 96 people watch this great Alabama show? And, you know, I think it's got something to do with you being kind of on the forefront of technology. And, you know, maybe a year from now, there's going to be a bunch of people watching your show. Maybe 2 years or 10 years from now, you know, you will surpass Feinbaum. That's my opinion. But right now, we got 100 people watching your show, and we only had 3 people watching the CTS Interview Room last night. And the CTS Interview Room is a great show. And what maybe folks don't know, of course, James Knox knows because he was in the room last night, and Waylon knows, but Stephen M. Smith, the guy I'm talking to right now, is on this show on Tuesday nights. And last night, the guest was John Parker Wilson. It was a great show. John Parker was candid. He was open. He took the hard questions. They gave him a hard time about La Monroe. Man, I loved it. He took on questions about La Monroe. He took on questions about, he didn't talk about Florida State and losing that Florida State game now, you know, but he did take on my question about Keith Brown and DJ Hall. He talked about Matt Caddell. You know, he talked about the difference between, Stephen keeps bringing up Shula. Please don't bring up Shula. But, you know, he talked about, you know, playing under Saban, and it was all on the CTS Interview Room, which is a show that Stephen M. Smith, our host, our beloved host, the guy I'm talking to right now, he's on the show. And it's on YouTube, and there was only 3 or 4 people, me and James Knox, watching it last night. And, you know, there's got to be more of us that would like that show. So I have to plug the show, Stephen, and I'm going to start plugging the show. I'm going to start calling up here and raising it up until the viewership gets up to where we are on, TDA. And I love TDA. I don't want to be messing with Mr. Bice. I love Justin and John. There's no doubt about it. But, that other show with Marvin Constant and Justin Riley and Stephen M. Smith, and I don't know who that other guy was, J.J. Pruitt. There was a comedian 2 weeks ago, but it's a great show. It's you get to chat, you get to ask questions. The questions get presented to the Alabama guests. They had Tyrone Prothro on before. They get great guests. Justin Riley really, I think, is spearhead of the show. He's the Stephen M. of the show, and he's so smart. He's got Stephen M. on his show, which in my mind is better than Eli or Feinbaum, and that's about all I got to say.
Appreciate it. We definitely appreciate New Jack there for those thoughts. I mean, people love Alabama football. People love Alabama football, and whenever you can get Alabama football on the thing, you tune into Alabama football. But I definitely enjoy doing this show right here and making sure that the fans get the best news, those information out there. But we got another call here in the queue. We go live for this call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on?
What's going on, Steven? It's your boy, Scooby Lou from the NO, that third war. That man know you're the home of the soldier. What's going on, baby?
Doing good, man. Scoob, doing good. I mean, fall camp starts Friday. The players report tomorrow, so I can already kind of feel in Nick Saban's mind he's ready to get back to work. I mean, he's been ready to get back to work for a minute now, but now he's ready to get back to work.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to get down there, ready to throw my crimson and white on. We finna get down in the NO. We tailgating every Saturday, baby. We going for another championship, 2 in a row. Then we gonna come back next year, 3 in a row. I'm out of here, baby. Roll Tide, roll. You heard me?
Appreciate Scoop and Lou in there helping us out here on the show here. Scoop, I mean, the third ward out in New Orleans, get that thing right. We're going to go to a quick topic here before the break, and it goes to Kadarius Callaway, Alabama 3-star defensive back Kadarius Callaway from Philadelphia, Mississippi. Justin Smith, our own Justin Smith, spent a great deal of time scouting out this young man for the 2021 class at corner. He has left the program. He will attend and play ball at East Mississippi Community College. So best wishes there to Kadarius Callaway. Would have loved to have seen him be fantastic at the university, but chose to take his talents to JUCO, left the program, will be enrolling and attending at East Mississippi Community College, that being one Kadarius Callaway right there. So for all the callers, hold on. Just hold on, callers. Hold through the break. We're gonna get to you in the next 10 minutes. Hold through the break there. But once we get back, we will actually sit down with my man, Alex Barth, who covers the New England Patriots for 98.5 The Sports Hub, to talk Mac Jones, Damian Harris, Donta Hightower, Christian Barmore. A little cool segment with him after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, People, we are back in from the break on a Wednesday. Number 1 4 for Bama. Football news, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, and we're gonna go to the In My Own Words hotline. We pick up somebody that's been on the show before, but we had to bring him back. My man Alex Barth, beat reporter for the New England Patriots, also sports radio personality for 98.5 The Sports Hub out of Boston. Alex, man, great to have you back. How you feeling?
Thanks for having me. I know we got to talk NFL now, but you got me so excited for college football. I got to get out of that mindset here.
Absolutely. We got Alex Barth here on the show, covers the New England Patriots, sports radio personality, beat writer, working for 98.5 The Sports Hub. So, Alex, we've seen him through the first week of training camp, as we're now in week 2, the first week and the second week now. Mac Jones has been performing well. I mean, he's earned the respect of Josh McDaniels. He's earned the respect of Bill Belichick. He's earned the respect of players around him. When you look at just the different reports coming out of camp, coming out of these practices, it's always, Mac doing good, Mac progressing. Even though Bill Belichick has named Cam Newton as the starter, where have you seen Mac grow the most so far? Where have you seen him progress the most so far as he's in week 2 of training camp?
Yeah, I thought he had a really good day today. Today might have been his best day of camp so far. I think the biggest jump is you can just see, and this goes back to the practices in the spring, the timing. He's starting to figure out the timing of NFL defenses, and windows he might have had in college don't exist in the pros. Maybe there's windows that are there at the NFL level that he didn't have at Alabama. So you can see that adjustment starting to happen. It's a bit of a work in progress, but he's starting to figure out the timing of things, and that's going to be big for him. That's big for any rookie quarterback, is just getting up to the speed of the NFL game.
Absolutely. Now, we're joined here now by Alex Barth. If you're just tuning into the show on a Wednesday, Barth covering the New England Patriots, beat reporter, sports radio personality for 98.5 The Sports Hub. So, Alex, as you look at Damian Harris, who is entering his 3rd year with the Patriots this past season, he actually got a bit more time on the field at running back, had some big moments, had a couple of 100-yard games, ended the year close to 700 yards rushing. What does the coaching staff, the players, what's the feel like where Damian Harris is concerned going into his 3rd year in this offense?
Yeah, he feels like he's due for a breakout year. There's a couple breakout candidates on this team, but he's towards the top of that list. Running back coach Ivan Fears today was raving about just the mentality he brings to practice. He's been doing this thing where, it can be just a walk-through period wherever they are on the field. But if he gets the handoff, he's sprinting all the way to the end zone, even if it's 40, 50 yards. And the rest of the running backs have kind of followed suit and started doing that. So he has that workhorse, that Alabama mentality. You can see it out there on the field. And behind this offensive line, which projects to be one of the best in football, people are really excited up here about what he could potentially bring in 2021. And I think rightfully so. I think if he stays healthy, he is going to have a breakout year.
Now, as we flip this thing over here to the defense, Alex, and it's something that Bill Belichick and this Patriots organization prides itself on, the defensive side of the football. We look at Christian Barmore, a young man of whom you guys New England drafted from Alabama in the 2nd round, number 38 overall pick. So far in training camp, how has Barmore looked? He was explosive at Alabama last year, 8 sacks, led the team and helping the Crimson Tide win a national championship. But how has Barmore looked in training camp?
Yeah, it's been tough to see a ton of them because there's only been one padded practice, but that one padded practice, he was the best player on the field. I mean, he absolutely dominated. He won all 5 of his one-on-ones, and then they go into team drills. They go into 11s, and Barmore, like you mentioned, he's known mostly as a pass rusher. That projects to be his role in New England early as a defensive tackle pass rush specialist, but they're in 11s in the running game, and, you'd see the lanes close up. Everybody kind of falls on top of each other. Okay, who's at the bottom of the pile? Who clogged the lane up? It was Christian Barmore 3 or 4 times. I mean, he was dominating against the starting offensive line in the running game, which is, you'd like to think he'd get there eventually, but I don't think anybody expected him to be this monster run stopper in year 1 in New England. So it's just one practice, and we'll see if he can repeat it. But, yeah, that one fully padded practice, I mean, he was he was impressive. He was very, very impressive.
We're going to stay right here for just a moment here, Alex, on Christian Barmore, because a lot of people had him projected as a late first-round guy, falls to the second round. What did Bill Belichick love about this young man's tape to make it seem like, okay, Barmore's falling, but if he falls to us, we're taking him? What did Belichick like the most about Barmore's game?
I think his unique prototype and his versatility, right, like I said before, he projects to be at the very least in the NFL a pass rush specialist defensive tackle. And the Patriots had a guy in that role for the last 4 years, another SEC guy, Adam Butler out of Vanderbilt. He left in free agency. He signed with Miami, and there's not a ton of those guys in the league, at least not of that caliber, guys who can, from the interior, not on the edge, but from the interior, get after the quarterback. And Barmore can do that, and we saw him do that at Alabama, but then he projects to potentially be, a very athletic 3-4 end, and a name that was brought up a lot before the draft when we talked about Barmore in relation to the Patriots, because he was a guy some people saw there being a connection. A name that came up a lot was Richard Seymour, actually another SEC guy from Georgia way back when. So Seymour is one of Belichick's all-time favorite players, and that ability to play the nose, play the 3 technique. They had him playing 5 technique the other day in that padded practice. I think his ability to move around the defensive line, his ability to get after the quarterback from the middle, you don't find a lot of guys like that. And Barmore is a supremely talented player, cut from a rare cloth, and I don't think Bill Belichick was going to miss his chance to grab a player like that on the defensive side of the ball.
If you're just tuning into the show, folks, on a Wednesday, we're joined live with Alex Barth, who covers the New England Patriots, beat writer for the team, sports radio personality, 98.5 The Sports Hub, talking Mac Jones, Damian Harris, a lot of former Bama players in training camp for the Patriots. But the veteran of all of these guys, Alex, is Donta Hightower. This is the veteran of the group. This is the big dog in the room. This is the captain, the anchor of this defense. Did not play last year due to the COVID situation. He came back this season. He's been involved with camp. How happy is this program to have Hightower back in the middle of that defense for this season?
Yeah, coaches and players, they're raving about not just having back a player of his caliber, and he's obviously very talented, but what he brings as a leader. And you kind of mentioned it, the veteran of the group, obviously the veteran of the Alabama contingent in New England, but also just a veteran of the team, a veteran of the defense. And he comes back, and they missed him a lot last year, I think, as a communicator, not just in the X's and O's, but what he brings pre-snap and getting everybody in the right spot, in pointing out what's coming from the offense and recognizing offensive sets. Having that back with a young defensive front around him, I think, is invaluable. And then obviously what he brings both in the run game, and this year it looks like in the pass game. He's always been a very good pass rusher, but he slimmed down a little bit in his year off, and he's looked as good in coverage as I think I've ever seen him. And he's always been a well-rounded player, but that's been the one element of his game that he hasn't, done a ton. But if he can start dropping into coverage and taking linebackers in coverage, in addition to what he does as a pass rusher, he's going to be that much more of a fit for opposing offenses. So it's been really good to see him back, see him in shape, and I think the team missed him as well.
He's Alex Barth, ladies and gentlemen, covering the New England Patriots, beat writer for the team, sports radio, personality for 98.5 The Sports Hub out of Boston. Alex, appreciate you coming on, sharing with us the information in New England with Mac Jones, Damian Harris, Christian Barmore, Donta Hightower in terms of Bama players for that program. Appreciate it, man. Stay safe. Take care of yourself, brother.
Absolutely. I'll give you one more here real quick. Anthony Jennings had a pass breakup today, so let's not leave him out. There you go.
Absolutely. Anthony Jennings, pass breakup, another former Bama guy doing his thing in New England. Appreciate the love, Alex. Take care.
Anytime, man.
Gotta love Alex Barth coming on the show here talking former Bama players in NFL training camp for the New England Patriots, the guys doing well. Proud to see Anthony Jennings get that pass breakup. Definitely want to see what he does at the next level for the Patriots. But we take a break right now, folks. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we return to the phone lines to get your calls, your thoughts, your opinions, your interactions right after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace. You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We are back in from the break, rocking and rolling here on In My Own Words. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciate my man Alex Barth in that recent segment talking about the former Bama guys with the New England Patriots having success in NFL training camp. Gonna watch a lot more NFL this season to watch all these Bama guys on the field. But we got some super chats to get to. How about my man Bill, Big Bill from New York, that $10 donation. Appreciate the love from Bill. Jimmy Clay comes back with the $20 donation. Appreciate the love from JC, the man Big Bad Jimmy Clay. And then we got Mechanic, a $10 donation on his end. Appreciate the love. Come from everybody helping us out here on the show. But back in from the break, which means we get back in the phone lines. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab a call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on?
How you doing, Stephen Smith?
Doing well, and yourself?
I'm a first-time caller.
Congratulations, man. Welcome to the show.
Well, Stephen Smith, I've been an Alabama fan for about 30 years now. About the offense, really scared.
Can you turn your speakers down a little bit, sir? Can you turn the speakers down just a little bit?
I said I'm very concerned about the Alabama offense.
You're concerned about the offense. What has you concerned?
The quarterback.
Okay, so quarterback has you concerned there. Well, I'll say this. I know with Mac Jones there was a lot of success last year, and it was huge with the numbers he put up, over 4,000 passing yards, 41 touchdowns. But I feel like Bryce Young, with his athleticism, with his mobility, with his accuracy also in the pocket, I think this offense is going to be just as good as the offense from last season. I know Bama's replacing quite the amount of pieces, including the Heisman Trophy winner in Devontae Smith. But I look at Bryce's athleticism, I look at his mobility, I look at all of the tools that he brings, and with Bill O'Brien kind of coaching him, really like what this offense is going to have a chance to do because they got the talent around him. But appreciate the call right there, trying to answer that question about the Alabama offense. That I think Bryce Young's going to have a good season. But we're going to actually take our next call, and this comes from my man Terrence out of Mississippi. Let's check this call out right here. We got the voicemail from Terrence from Mississippi. Let's check this one out.
Yo, my name is Terrence. I'm from Mississippi originally, but I live in Lufkin. There's some ballers out here. But now I called in to say this right here. With us having such a deep defensive backfield this year, how do you think Jackson will fit in? What is he doing on campus? What are the updates on that guy? Because the defensive back unit itself is so heavy with big hitters. How do you think he's going to play in over Malachi and Branch and also a third cornerback position?
Appreciate that thought coming in from Terrence out of Mississippi. So Kyrie Jackson, who's from Maryland, but played his college ball, thus far at East Mississippi Community College, JUCO right there. I like Kyrie Jackson. He came in the summer, 6'3", 6'4" size there. Now he was brought in to be an outside boundary corner by Coach Saban and the staff, so that will be his position. Right now, Josh Jobe has already got one of a 2 outside corner spots locked up. So this leaves you with the right corner spot, which Jagan Armour-Davis has held this from the spring to right now. Kool-Aid McKinstry, I've been hearing that he wants that spot. He's going after that spot. He's all in on that spot. We all know how talented Kool-Aid is, 5-star from right here in Alabama. But Kyrie Jackson has a shot here. It comes down to how quickly does he pop in fall camp. And I've said this a couple of times before. When you are able to pop within those first 2 weeks of fall camp and show the coaching staff what you can do, you will not be denied. They've got to have you on the field. You can create that attention and draw the eyeballs there from the coaching staff. One thing about JUCOs, Nick Saban does not recruit them just to sit them. He recruits them to play them. He recruits them because they've got the experience, they've played football, they know what it's like, they know the feel of the game, so he recruits those guys to have them on the field, to put them out there to see what they can do because of that experience. So Kyrie Jackson has a shot. He's in here now. Camp starts Friday. He's got a shot. It comes down to how quickly can he pop here early in fall camp. But we take a call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Hey, Steven, how are you, man?
Doing well in yourself.
I'm doing all right. I had a question. I think I heard, why not think? I saw that looks like you guys had some sort of deal with Malachi Moore. Did I see that?
Yes, this is correct. This is correct.
Yeah. Did I miss you guys talk about it already? I just kind of tuned in. I just want to get a comment on that. I think that's pretty exciting. And I was kind of disappointed that I didn't really see it any major news on it. What's going on with that? Like ESPN or nobody kind of picked up on that?
Nobody's picked up on it, but definitely want to appreciate Malachi Moore and his family for allowing us the opportunity to do this here at TDA. Malachi will be a brand ambassador for the magazine where his NIL name, image, likeness is concerned. We're excited to have him on board. Of course, he is very excited to be on board. Family very excited to be on board. We'd like to thank the University of Alabama, the athletics department, for allowing this to happen as well. So it's really cool. We're really excited. He's really excited. Hopefully it'll get more attention, but we're just excited to have him on board. Absolutely. But appreciate that call right there. We take another call here on the show. You're live. What's going on today?
Steven, what's going on, man?
Doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing just fine. I'm ready for the season. I'm just so fired up. Blue Ridge game's looking good. And, buddy, I appreciate you.
Jimmy Clay, we appreciate you. Jimmy Clay, we appreciate you more than what you will ever know, man. Appreciate Jimmy Clay calling into the show. Roll Tide for Jimmy. Appreciate the love that's coming from our own Jimmy Cash Clay right there. We take our next call. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Stephen, hi, it's Bill from New York City. How you doing, brother?
My man Bill in the building. What's going on, Bill?
All right, first of all, want to tell you how great it is to have this show, to get information from and to talk to. Also, let me just tell you, I'm trying to talk my fiance into an Alabama trip this year. It will be my first. I saw him up here once years ago when they played Rutgers, but, lifelong dream to come down to see him in person. What I want to talk about though is I think that this year, if we win a title, will be Coach Saban's greatest accomplishment ever, and I'm going to tell you why. I mean, he's an old school guy, running game, defense, and that's going to be our main thing this year. I think we're going to have to rely on some freshmen to make it all work. But what I'm saying is, again, this defense thrills me, and I think we're going to crush people. I'll use that word. And I'm ready. And I'm wondering what you think about that. Do you think this will be his greatest accomplishment ever to win if they're losing all these guys on offense as well as Barmore? And thanks for even taking my call, Stephen.
Appreciate the call that coming from Bill out of New York. My thought on that is I think it'll be Saban's greatest coaching job just due to not only what Bill mentioned, but also the external factors. Being able to coach in the NIL era, I mean, this is very unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this where Pandora's box is open and you're seeing all of these young men get compensated by these different businesses for their likeness. Now, I'm all for the compensation, don't get me wrong, I'm for it. But we're seeing how we don't know how this is being monitored, if it's being monitored at all. And if Saban is able to control the egos, to control the mindsets of everybody in the room with NIL, with the transfer portal, with all of this stuff going on, as well as the points that Bill just brought up here on the show, losing so many offensive talents to the league, and, of course, Christian Barmore on defense, this will be the biggest coaching job and the best coaching job for Coach Saban because it shows nothing deters him, nothing derails him, nothing sneaks up on him in terms of keeping him from winning national championships and putting the team in the best possible situation. We grab a call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on?
What's going on, Steven? Charles from Demopolis.
We got Charles from Demopolis in the building. What's going on, Charles?
Nothing.
Appreciate Charles for calling in as always.
Hello?
Love having, go ahead,
Hello?
Charles.
Mm-hmm. How much y'all paying? Okay.
We can't quite hear you, Charles. Unfortunately, we lost Charles. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, we lost Charles from Demopolis, but definitely appreciate Charles calling in when he can. But yeah, kind of lost Charles there. But we're going to actually go to a quick topic here before we take our next break here. And the topic goes to, Alabama football is going to be, so far in the ESPN preseason power rankings, top 10 power rankings, Crimson Tide #1 in those power rankings. And this just goes to, the mindset has become Alabama football. It does not rebuild. It reloads. Nick Saban loses talent each and every year, offensively, defensively, too. The NFL draft, but he continues to stockpile talent, not only in recruiting, but the guys that, are young on the team become veterans. They go out there, they have success, they win games, they win championships. The beat goes on is what I am saying. And when you look at this year's team, despite the haul of guys that graduated offensively to the next level and the guys defensively that have passed on to the pros, when I look at the offensive pieces back, led by Bryce Young and having Bill O'Brien run the offense, I look at all of the defensive pieces back, and I think Pete Golden is going to take a jump forward. Pete Golden is going to take a rise. He's going to make that step. He's going to take that jump and showing that he is a good, solid, sound, quality defensive coordinator. I know contrary to popular belief, half the people say give him some time. He's had to deal with injuries. He's had to deal with unfortunate stuff, but he's good. Half the people say let go of him, get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. But I think this year, Pete is going to silence everybody and show, hey, there's a reason why Coach Saban kept him. I think he's got the chemistry with this group. I think he's got the communication down with this group. Fidarian Mathis mentioned at SEC Media Days, watch this Bama defense. We back. So we're gonna have all eyes on this Alabama defense. Before we take the break, gotta shout out Jimmy Clay again. Jimmy Cash Clay, another $10 donation helping us out here on the show. But Bama in the preseason top 10 power rankings for ESPN ranked number 1 in the country. Looking forward to seeing this football team in this upcoming season. But we take our final break here on the show and touch that down, because upon our return, we get into one of everybody's favorite games: buy, sell, or hold. 6-pack of questions looking at this season's Crimson Tide. We'll get into that after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
We're back in here, folks, from the break of a number 1 forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And before we get into the final topic of conversation here, got to remind you, first off, if you're not following the @In My Own Words Twitter account, please make sure to give that a follow at In My Own Words on Twitter. Near 700 followers on Twitter at 692 right now. So be sure to follow at In My Own Words TDA, at In My Own Words TDA on Twitter. Got a lot of content on right there for you, the Tide Nation. Also, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. So for overjoyed with the Crimson Tide's national championship, we want you to check out our championship collection merch. This means you grab you an 18 of them things, folk: hoodie, t-shirt, or sweatshirt, as well as our Got 18 We Do shirts. Designs that feature all 18 championship years on the back. You head on over to TDAwear.com. Do it right now, TDAwear.com. You click on the Championship Collections merch tab. You get you that gear today, showing your support for the University of Alabama, head coach Nick Saban, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But now we get into one of the favorite games by you, the people, and that's called Buy, Sell, or Hold. A 6-pack of questions talking about this year's Crimson Tide. If you buying it, you buy it. If you're selling it, you're selling it. If you're holding it, we hold up. We put a pin on that for right now. As always, Tide fans, our own John Ivory will be conducting polls in the chat line. Be sure to vote on those polls, going buy, sell, or hold for these 6-pack of questions. So we're going to jump right into the conversation right now. And the first off, and the game goes to Kool-Aid McKinstry, Alabama freshman defensive back Kool-Aid McKinstry. And the question being, Kool-Aid McKinstry will be the lone freshman on the defensive side of the ball that will get significant playing time. Kool-Aid McKinstry, lone freshman on the defensive side of the ball that will get significant playing time. And when you look at McKinstry right now, he's in a very advantageous spot, if I can use that word. He's in a very advantageous spot. And what I'm saying by that is he's going to play regardless, but he has a chance to be either first off the bench, getting significant playing time at that boundary corner position, or if Jalen Armour-Davis just falls completely apart in fall camp, Kool-Aid McKinstry will start at one of the 2 boundary corner spots. Like I mentioned, a lot of people have been telling me, stating me, people close inside the program, McKinstry, he wants this job. He's been going after this corner spot. He wants to be a starting corner. He is really having his eyes locked in here on this position. So Kool-Aid McKinstry, lone starter, lone defensive player for Alabama that's going to get significant playing time on the defensive side of the ball, despite the huge haul of players that Alabama brought into this recent class here. We got 33% of you are saying buy, 22% of you are saying sell, 44% have hold, so hold have it at 44%. John, what was my thought on Kool-Aid one time?
I'm headed to the bank right now.
I'm buying this one, and the reason why I'm buying this one is it's going to be difficult for a lot of other players. Like Monkel Goodwine, he'll get some spot play on the defensive line, but you're just so deep on the defensive line, right? And then you've got, Dallas Turner. He could get some spot play at outside linebacker, but that group is deep also. Kool-Aid McKinstry coming in the spring, having the spring he had, having the A-Day game he had, having Coach Saban even yelling at him, because we know when Coach Saban's yelling at you, it means you got big-time potential here, and he's got a shot to be a starter in the secondary. I think he will be the lone freshman defensively to get significant playing time. I'll buy that one right there. Moving on to the next thought here in buy, sell, or hold. This one goes to the Alabama defensive front. So the question being, the Alabama defensive front will not allow a 100-yard rusher this season. Bama defensive front will not allow a 100-yard rusher this season. And this goes back to SEC football media days where Fidarian Mathis took the podium, defensive lineman, fifth-year senior, and 5 of the first 6 questions directed to him in the main room were about, Phil, is Bama going to have that defense back? Phil, is Bama back to the standard defensively? Phil, will you guys be elite this year? Will you guys be dominant this year? Will you guys be fierce this year? Will you guys be able to get back to what we've seen in the past with Alabama defense? And so 5 of the first 6 questions were being directed there about the defense and primarily the defensive front. And this group has had to deal with the last 3 years, going back to 2018. You guys have fallen off. You guys are taking a back seat. Where's the Alabama defense? Haven't seen it in quite some time. This group is going to play angry. It's going to play mad. It's going to play fierce, and especially after last year giving up, 100-yard games to guys like Snoop Connor of Ole Miss. But the question being, this defense will not allow a 100-yard rusher this season. Let's see what we got right here. 27% of you are saying buy. 33% now of you are saying buy. 25% say sell. 42% of you say hold. And I'm y'all holding in this episode. So 33% of you are going buy for Alabama's defensive front. John, what was my answer on this question?
I'm headed to the bank right now.
I'm buying the defensive front. I feel like the biggest piece of motivation you can tell an 18 to 22-year-old, a group of them, the biggest piece of motivation is you are not as good as the guy that came before you. You are not as great as the guy that came before you. You're not as dominant. When you tell a young kid that, or a group of guys that, it makes them hungry to run through a brick wall and to prove people wrong. So buying this defensive front, not allowing that 100-yard rusher. Moving on here to the next thought in buy, sell, or hold here for your Crimson Tide. Next thought we're going to get into, let's see, the next thought dives to Bryce Young in terms of rushing touchdowns. So Alabama quarterback Bryce Young will account for 10 rushing scores this year. Bryce Young will have 10 rushing touchdowns. Now, he is very athletic. We all know this. He's got escapability. He's elusive. He's got great athleticism. Dual threat quarterback for a reason coming out of high school. We didn't get a chance to see him, of course, a lot last year due to the dominance of Mac Jones, COVID, that whole situation right there. In the spring game, didn't get a chance to see him run a whole lot due to Alabama keeping the offense simple, keeping the base, not trying to let a whole bunch of stuff leak out there, sneak out there, get out there in terms of a spring game. But 10 rushing touchdowns here. And, the difference between, Bryce and Mac, U.S. fans, you guys want to see the mobility. You want to see the mobility. You want to see the escapability. You want to see the young man run around and make plays. He finished his high school career with 26 rushing touchdowns. But the thought process is for Bryce, a guy that you got Bill O'Brien in here, the genius that he is offensively, and so much of the mental aspect he's going to put on Young. The thought process is Bryce having at least 10 rushing touchdowns. 38% of you are going buy, 23% sell, 38% hold. John, what was my thought on Bryce Young and those potential rushing touchdowns? Selling on that, passing on that. And kind of the reason why here is definitely want to protect the body of Bryce Young. I feel like for a lot of dual threat quarterbacks, it's fun being a dual threat in high school. But once you get to college and you see how the speed of the game gets that much faster between high school and college, you want to protect your body more. You want to show that you can throw the football, you can be precise, you can be accurate, you have that arm talent, you have that arm ability to make every single throw on the field. I still think Bryce Young is going to get some rushing touchdowns. I have him at 5, but 10, I don't see Alabama wanting to run him that much in terms of getting to the end zone. But next thought here, buy, sell, or hold. This goes to DJ Dale, Alabama defensive lineman DJ Dale. By midseason, DJ Dale will not be the starter at nose tackle, at defensive tackle. So by midseason, DJ Dale will not be the starter at that defensive tackle position. And I like DJ Dale. I do. I mean, I remember he came in 2019, 4-star, from the Birmingham area as an early enrollee, was whipping up on guys in spring practice 2019. And he actually had a good freshman season leading up to until, unfortunately, he got hurt. Now, last year, there were moments where he got blown off the ball. He got blown off the ball, not getting enough penetration, not getting enough push, not getting enough power, not getting enough quickness, just blown off the ball. Now, some of that was due to no knee injury he had, not fully healthy from, and a lot of that is, that desire. You got to be able to get that penetration and knock guys back and get in the backfield and create some friction and create some havoc, and just did not quite see this from DJ Dale in 2020. So, this season right here, could we see a situation where by midseason he's not the starter at that nose tackle position here? 22% of you are going buy, 44% of you are going sell, 33% of you are going hold. John, what was my thought on DJ Dale?
I'm headed to the bank right now.
Buying this one, and it's not because I don't think Dale can do it, because he very well can. I'm buying this because he's got some dogs behind him. Tim Smith ain't playing. He's not playing. And when you're at that nose tackle position, you got to have a difference maker. You got to have somebody that's consistently blowing stuff up, consistently creating havoc. You got to have that guy where that center and that offensive guard are going, help, help, help. He's killing us. He's killing us. He's killing us. Help, help. You got to have that defensive tackle, that nose guard that's creating that consistent havoc. Bama had that with Deron Payne. It had it with Quinnen Williams. It had it with Dalvin Tomlinson. It's had it with different guys. It has not had that, in DJ Dale thus far. And when I'm looking at Tim Smith, and when I look at a big Jamarian Latham, those two kind of bring that skill set. I want to see DJ Dale prove me wrong, absolutely. But right now, buying the fact that by midseason, we could see somebody else in that spot. But next thought here, buy, sell, or hold, it goes to the running back room, and in particular, Trey Sanders here. So the thought process is Trey Sanders will be in the 3-man rotation at running back. He will be in that main 3-man rotation at the running back position. Now, Trey came in here 5-star from Florida. Came in from IMG in 2019. We know the talent. We know the makeup. We know the ability. The question we're facing is, the health when it comes to him. Can he stay healthy? Can he shake off the injury bug? Can we finally see a full year of what Trey Sanders can be as a healthy running back? Because everything else in terms of the physical tools are there. And despite the crowded running back room, we know and we are aware of what he can bring to the table. Just can the young man stay healthy and trying to get into that three-man rotation here. So you as fans on Trey Sanders, 64% of you say buy, 9% say sell, 27% say hold, 64% are going buy on Trey Sanders. Joe, what was my thought on Trey? Sell. Reason why I am selling this on Trey is it's going to be hard for him to pass up Roydell. Roydell Williams is playing with a lot to prove. Roydell Williams is playing with some serious gear, with some serious determination. I think B-Rob and Jace McClellan are 1 and 2, or it could be B-Rob or Jace 1, but both of those two are going to be 1 and 2. And then I think Roydell is really in here in that third spot. I think for Trey, would be what I would do if I was Trey. I don't think Trey would do this, but if I was Trey, I would literally possibly redshirt this season. Just get with Blue, get with Dr. Ray, get himself 100% healthy. 100% healthy so that 2022 he can get out there, God willing, ball, have that success at full peak health, at full peak strength. This is another one that hope Trey Sanders proves me wrong. Be healthy the entire season so we can see what you do, what you bring, and the full fruition of it. But right now, selling it there on Trey Sanders. Next thought here, I'm going to go to Jamil Billingsley. Final thought here in terms of buy, sell, or hold. 6-pack of questions for this Alabama team. Jamil Billingsley at tight end will be the second leading receiver for Alabama this season. Jamil Billingsley, second leading receiver for the Crimson Tide. And Jamil, I mentioned this in the first topic. The guy's my rising star here. Steve Sarkisian opened it up for him. 18 catches, 287 yards, 3 touchdowns. Bill O'Brien is about to really pop it out the dome here with Jamil. We know the size at 6'4", 230. The athletic ability is there. He can play on the inline. You can flex him out there as a wide receiver. He will create a number of matchup problems. Had a very, very, very good spring. But the thought here on Jamil, will he be the number 2 leading receiver here for the Crimson Tide? Let's get your thought here, fans. Let's see here. 64% of you are going buy. 27% are going sell. 9% of you are going hold. So 64% of you are going buy. John, what's my thought here on Jamil Billingsley?
Hold up.
Hold on that, and the reason why I'm holding on that is, along with John Mechie, along with the possibility of Kinsley Bolden be on the field, you also have to look at the Jamison Williams, the Javon Bakers, the Trayshawn Holdens, even one of these freshmen, when you talk, Ajah Hall, Christian Leary, JoJo Earl, there's one ball and there's a lot of bodies. There's one ball, but there are a lot of bodies. And then you look at Alabama trying to run the ball more this year as well. I think Jaleel still has a huge year. I think he still has a productive year, but being the number 2 wide receiver in this rotation, just hold on that for just a moment here, and definitely want to see what he's going to be able to do in fall camp starting off here on Friday. But as always, people, buy, sell, or hold. 6-pack of questions talking about your Crimson Tide as it's getting ready here for this upcoming season, trying to repeat as national champions for the first time since the 2011-2012 seasons. But as always, Bama fans, if you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your favorite program, you can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we got you right here. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We got you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. As always, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be in the description. Also, if you're trying to get that fresh edition, that print edition of TDA the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com, you click join, become a member, a subscriber today. That link will be found in the description. And also, if you're trying to get that four-finger bling necklace, four-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at weownthefourthquarter.com. That's weownthefourthquarter.com. That link in the description as well. But until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing, to not be bored. You get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. As always, you protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, so long, everybody. It's been in my own words.